Hello, so as promised I'm going to do a video on the Scott Promask, and this is the finished civil defence sort of issued one. There's a bit of sort of grubby little bits from storage in there. So obviously if you remember it was the one in this box. Now I've previously done a video on the Scott M98 which is essentially this mask. The only major differences are some of the bits look a bit different on the outside, sort of where you've got the exhale valve cover and everything like that. Main difference though is there's no drinking tube connector on this one. If I remember right, the drinking tube connector on the M98 goes into whichever side isn't being currently used for the voice diaphragm. Can't remember completely without looking, but I think that's how it works. Also think the straps, if I remember right, were fabric, not rubber. Let's try this on and see if it fits me. Could do with cutting my hair, but so far so good. Yeah, already got the good cheek seal this mask. Oops. Won't adjust the top strap because I don't think it needs adjusting. Right. Yeah, that pressurises, so there we are, good. So, this is quite a comfortable mask. As you can see, very good panoramic field of view. Obviously, you can't see how well I can see out of this with the camera like that, but it is one of those masks where you do get a proper sort of widescreen view, if you like. The sort of transparent, even if it's slightly orange, nose cup is good as well, because that means that you still can see more than you could with a solid nose cup. You just get a bit of more blurry sort of bottom field of view, but there we go. The voice diaphragm on this one's quite good. On my M98, when I first got it, it was a bit buzzy. Putting some pressure on the voice diaphragm with my hands after a while did actually get that voice diaphragm to then you know, like not buzz as much, essentially like warping it back into shape. Because if I remember, there's either a plastic or like a metal plate inside that grating. So obviously I've not got a filter on it at the moment. Rather than opening the filter that came with it, let's just steal this Chinese filter off of the Scott M110 or whatever it was. But yeah, if I remember right, my Promask was more similar to, or my M98 was more similar to this one. Where it had a drinking tube connector, I think, on one of the sides rather than there. Had this style XL valve and this style sort of fabric head harness. Yeah, so let's connect the filter, see if I can do that without looking. Or, you know, without messing it up. Okay, that is a really nice filter system to actually put the filter on. It's exactly where you think it would be when you're twisting it, so that's good. And it's still pressurising. But now I can't smell anything, so there we go. So yeah. Thank you to Visa for sending me this. As said, I really like this mask. I'd say obviously the M98, like the military style variant, is better than this because it does have the good drinking tube system on it where the canteen just pushes into the mask. Slightly more comfortable straps, but this isn't bad at all. For a civilian mask, this is a really good mask. So to show you sort of what you might see if you're wearing it, obviously the straps, let's see if I can turn those slightly to the side. Getting them as much out of the way as possible. Yeah, so if you were looking through it, you'd see something like that. You know, obviously still a bit better than that, but yeah, basically like that. It's got a very good field of view on this because of the fact, simply, obviously, that it's a big curved panoramic lens. Another nice thing with this is there's not really any distortion to your vision with this because it's actually a well done panoramic lens. And you can see there the metal cover that goes to the voice diaphragm, and then I think it's just a plastic disc inside there. Let's look up to the light. Yeah, it's just a plastic disc inside there, which you can see looking up to the light, but probably isn't very obvious, you know, on the thing. So annoyingly, this isn't one where you can just swap the, you know, input side round yourself. The exhale valve cover is obviously just one where you can see under there's just a regular exhale valve. All this does is, I guess, angle the air slightly. This probably can just pull off this one. I say that, but maybe not. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's literally all there is to that. That's actually kind of rubbery rather than plastic. And then you've got your standard umbrella valve, exhale valve there. So let's just see if we can pop that back on. There we go. So yeah, that's the... It kind of works better that way around, it seems, with that, because then that way that little gap fits in with that tab there. Yeah, that's probably the way it's meant to be, and then you use that to pull it off. Right, so yeah, as I said, thanks to Visa for sending me this. So this is the like finished civil defence version of the Scott Promask. Scott Pro masks actually can often be found in DIY shops in the UK. Like, I think at one point Screwfix actually stocked these. That was pre-corona, but you know, these, you could actually buy these brand new in 40mm setup. And, you know, compared to a lot of surplus, even though they are quite a bit of money, they are very, very good masks for what they are. You know, as much as I'm not a massive fan of what you know of the Scott GSR, this is actually a very, very good, competent mask compared to the GSR, you know. If they'd have made the GSR like this, it would have been a winner from the get-go. And there you can see all the bits on it, that this mask was made in 1998. So it's less than 20 years old. Or is it? 1998, 2008, 2018. Oh no, it's still older than 20 years old, so it's 20, what, 24? But yeah, shows how old I'm getting now. But yeah, so this is kind of weird to think this is a mask that is over 20 years old, considering how good condition it is, but that's because it's been in storage. But yeah, so masks like this are kind of when people say to me, oh, I want to get like a surplus mask, what would you recommend that's actually surplusy? Kind of like this at the moment. You know, this or the military equivalents, because of just how good they are for what they are.